existence itself, my own existence. I've told this many times, I see lots of familiar faces, so… let me kind of abridge it and say it as briefly as possible. See, when I was 3-4 years of age, I realized one thing. Suddenly I realized one day, I don't know anything. My memory, for some reason, always has been like this. When I was 3-4 months of age, or even less than that, I remember everything that happened around me, even today. Not some earth-shaking events, simple things. The color of my mother's saree, the conversation, the crib that is creaking because somebody forgot to oil it, you know, all these kind of things, the color of the ceiling, the way the insects were moving around, all these things I still remember. My memory's always been like that. So when I was 3-4 years of age, suddenly I realized I know nothing. Know nothing means somebody gives me a glass of water, I do not know what is water. I know how to use it, I know if I drink it, it will quench my thirst and so many other ways of using it, but I do not know what is water. I'm saying even today you do not know what is water. So only thing available in all 3 states on the planet, 2/3 of the planet is water, 2/3 of your body is water. If you think life, we think water. But do you know what it is? With all the scientific exploration, we do not even know a single atom in its entirety. Today our idea of science is learning how to use everything. Yes, we know how to use an atom, we know how to break it, we know how to fuse it, but we really do not know what it is. Any one thing, tiniest thing in the creation, we do not know in its entirety. This is the fact of life. So when I realized I do not know anything, if I find a leaf, I would just be staring at it for 5 hours, 6 hours stretch. If I sat up in the night staring at the darkness, I would simply staring like this the whole night. My dear father, being a physician, started thinking I need psychiatric evaluation. I thought, this boy is just staring at something, unblinking, he's lost it. He really became very concerned. In this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, you must pay attention to the teacher. So I went and paid attention to the teacher. The kind of attention that they would have never received from anybody, absolute attention. Because by then I was very practiced. If I look at something, I can just go on, look at something for hours on end without without moving my eyeballs if I want. So I went and paid attention to the teachers. Initially, I heard the things that I was speaking, I kind of understood what they were trying to say. After some time I realized, they're only making sounds and noises. I'm the one who's making up meanings in my head. Even now it is so. I'm only making sounds, you're making up meanings in your head, isn't it? Because language is a conspiracy between 2 people. See, if you are among friends and somebody comes and you don't want him to know what you're talking, immediately you will switch to another language, isn't it? Language is always a conspiracy between 2 people. I'm just making sounds. Because you assume that you know English language, you're making up the meanings. If I speak another language that you do not know, it would be just sounds, isn't it? So when I realized this, I stopped making meanings in my head. I just heard the sounds, simply. The problem with most people is, if they do not understand something, they cannot pay attention to it. This is a serious mistake with life. What you do not understand needs more attention than what you understand, isn't it so? But most of the time, suppose now I start speaking in a language that you do not understand, you will not pay attention. Because you think, he's not talking something that I don't understand. Yes. I just paid attention without attaching meanings to the sounds. And after some time, it became very amusing. The whole day, teacher after teacher comes and makes sounds and sounds and sounds. So big smile spread on my face. They were not at all amused by this. So I went from class to class like this, getting consistent zeros all along. Only in the final exam I always got enough to move to the next one. So I moved on like this. About 5 years ago this happened. these trustees, who second or third generation trustees for that school, came to invite me for 125th anniversary of that school. 45 years ago I studied in that school. Now they came to invite me. I said, see, I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Why me? Because, every monthly test, I remember this very well. When the report cards came, I don't know if that system is still there, I've eliminated those systems completely in our schools, no report cards. When the report cards came, I remember some of them, a few of them will be strutting around because they're first, second, something. Some will be crying because they're afraid to go home because we don't know what they got in their report cards. I never ever once opened my report card. When the teacher gave it me, I took it and gave it to my father. I thought this is a transaction between the two of them. I am not intrusive like that. If somebody gives me a letter, I have to see what they've written. I don't care what they've written. Because anyway, in none of the test papers I ever wrote a single word. If they insisted, I wrote my name. Otherwise I gave a blank paper. So I always consistently got 6 zeros in every test. So I didn't have to open and see, nor be elated about it or cry about it, it meant nothing to me. Why I'm saying this is, in terms of life, it seems so irrelevant and ridiculous to me that somebody tells me something today and tomorrow I'm supposed to write that stupid thing that they've told me. I anyway remember every damn thing that they've said and a million other things they've not said. Why are they treating human beings like this? You can bloody record it on a tape recorder and play it back and say you're first and first and first. What is the point of this exercise? Are you trying to allow human intelligence to grow into something, or are you trying to produce some part of a machine that will fit into your economic engine or some rubbish that you're trying to create for yourself? So right now, children are just parts being produced for some big machine which is going to eat up this planet. To fit into that machine, you're producing children of the next generation. I never thought I should be a part of it, and I'm not even today.
I would like to ask you many questions. This was very interesting, but I would like to go on to schools a little later, but I'd continue with your life and say, so you had…
No, later. I'm already done with the school.
Yes, yes. Oh no, but you have schools at the ashram, or you… Yes, you have
yes,
institutions where…
Yes, we'll talk about the schools.
And how is the education system there?
I thought you'll come to the schools later.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, coming back to your life, Sadhguruji, so then you grew up in your own different way of thinking. Did you meet a guru who showed you… I mean, how do you become Sadhguruji? I mean, did a guru bring you up to here? Who showed you your path thereafter? Or do you just evolve on your own?
We'll talk about the limited edition, okay? So talking about the limited edition, it's not that an individual human being has to be guided, because what you call as a human being is a piece of life. But unfortunately, everybody is desperately trying to make themselves into a person or a personality. But actually you're a piece of life, aren't you?
Yes.
But so desperately, most human beings are trying to become a person. Because they want to become a person, they're looking for somebody, an ideal person. I think in Mumbai, people look up to people like you and your clan, not with any this thing, because that is the culture. somewhere else they would look up to something else. I'm saying in each place, whatever they think is success, whatever they think is the so-called ideal thing, everybody tries to aspire and try to build themselves in that direction. Now, or in other words, they have a role model.
Yes, yes.
Everywhere I go, this is a question because probably they find me too freakish and they ask, who is your role model? I said, I don't roll with the models.
Okay.
This is a big mistake everybody is making. This is… you do not understand that you do not respect the work of creation, first of all. If you respect and value the work of creation, you would see what is this life longing for? What is its fundamental aspiration? Its aspiration is not to become a guru or an actor or something else. No. This life is longing to become full-fledged life, that's all. An earthworm is longing to become a full-fledged earthworm. A grasshopper wants to become a full-fledged grasshopper. A mango tree wants to become a full-fledged mango tree. A human being wants to become a full-fledged human being, and that's all the longing is. Only problem with the human being is, as I said earlier, for everybody there are two lines, easy definition of what a grasshopper is. But because there is no top line, you cannot define what is an ideal human being.
Yes.
There is no such thing.
Yes.
So, when you try to define an ideal human being, what you're actually attempting is, you want to go back in the evolutionary scale, you want to become a monkey. Monkey means imitation. Imitation means you fix a role model.
But on the other hand, you do need inspiration, so you start moving towards something that inspires you, and then you evolve and become… you can't possibly be that person, but you will become yourself, but following that somewhere. Or let me ask you something else, so where does all this profound knowledge come from?
What's so profound about this?
Well, it seems to me to be very profound.
No, I'm asking, what profound things did I say till now? Just I'm saying simple sense. Just because you rarely encounter sense on this planet these days, it's looking profound, unfortunately. Tell me, what profound things did I say till now? I haven't. I will love to sometime, but right now I haven't.
Well, even something simple as what you started with saying, that looking at water, I mean, straight away I was taught water, H2O, and what it can do, and you can mix it with colors and it becomes that, you can drink it and it quenches your thirst, but I never looked at it and said, I don't really know what is water.
Because nobody looks at anything. See, everybody is looking like this. Nobody has any attention for a piece of life here. They're like this. If you pay attention to one life, one blade of grass, one grasshopper, one human being, something else will happen. That's why we said life and love, because if you pay attention to one human being, some love will happen within you. Okay? If you miss life, at least some emotion in that direction must happen to you. That will happen only if you pay attention to one. If you're looking at like this, these days it's become a fashion because you're in love on Facebook. You love the whole humanity. To love one human being, if you want to love one human being, it costs life. To love the whole humanity doesn't cost anything. It's even better to love God, because it's always easy to love somebody who's not here now. It's so easy. But if you have to love somebody who's sitting next to you right now, it costs life. You know how difficult it is to love someone who's next to you right now? How easy it is to love someone who is dead or who is in heaven? Isn't it so? Let's face it. Because if you have to love one thing is you have to pay attention. Without attention, it will not happen. And above all, you have to give up something that is you to accommodate another, otherwise it will not happen. The English expression is very good. You must fall in love. You cannot rise in love, you cannot stand in love, you cannot fly in love, you have to fall. Something of you should fall, otherwise it will not work. You will not know it. So, you want to have a fake sense of life, then you don't pay attention to anything. Everything is information, nothing is a living experience. Everything is from the textbook or from the cinema or from the internet. Nothing is from life's experience. We're doing more and more today of that.
Sadhguruji, you just mentioned love, and today it is about life and love, and I would like to know, have you loved?
Do I look like someone who's not loved?